A crack formed across the fabric of reality, silent, impossible, and glowing with power no world was prepared to understand. It started as a pinprick above Manhattan, a distortion in the air that security cameras couldn't quite capture and that made witnesses blink and look away. Then it split open like a wound in space itself, and something fell through, trailing golden light and the scent of ozone. Son Goku tumbled through the dimensional tear, doing approximately 300 backward somersaults before his instincts kicked in. His aura flared blue for just a moment, divine energy crackling around him, before he caught himself mid-air above Times Square, floating there in his orange guy as the portal sealed behind him with a sound like thunder played in reverse. "Whoa," he said, looking around at the impossible towers of glass and steel. That was different. Below him, humanity froze. Smartphones rose like a field of rectangular flowers, all pointed upward. The digital billboards flickered and died from the residual energy of his arrival. A woman dropped her coffee. A taxi swerved into a hot dog cart. And somewhere in Vought Tower, the massive structure dominating the skyline with its 7-pointed star logo, alarms began to scream. Goku scratched his head, his trademark confusion evident even thousands of feet in the air. This doesn't look like Beerus's planet. Did I overshoot? He closed his eyes, trying to sense familiar key signatures. Vegeta's constant irritation, Gohan's gentle but powerful energy, Whis' divine presence. Nothing. Well, not nothing. He could feel energy signatures down there, hundreds of them scattered across this massive city. But they were strange. Artificial somehow. Like someone had taken life force and tried to manufacture it in a laboratory. And one signature in particular blazed brighter than the others, arrogant and unstable, located in that big tower with the star. "Guess I should ask for directions," Goku said cheerfully, and dropped toward the street. He landed in the middle of Times Square with barely a sound, his control so perfect that the concrete didn't even crack. The crowd that had been filming him from a distance suddenly surged backward, a wave of humanity retreating from the unknown. Goku raised a hand in greeting. "Hey there. Sorry about the entrance. I'm kinda lost." "Can anyone tell me? Everybody get back!" A squad of NYPD officers had arrived, weapons drawn, faces pale. Their hands shook as they aimed at him. Goku tilted his head, curious. These people seemed really scared, but he hadn't done anything yet. Their energy levels were so low he could barely sense them. Normal humans, completely unpowered. "Sir, get on the ground now! Hands behind your head!" "Oh, you guys are police, right?" Goku smiled. "Look, I'm not trying to cause trouble. I just need to figure out where I am and how to get back home. You see, I was training with my teacher, and I kinda punched through reality by accident." "He's one of them!" someone in the crowd screamed. "He's a super!" That word rippled through the gathering mass. Supe. Goku didn't know what it meant, but the crowd's reaction was intense. Some people cheered. Others ran. Many just kept filming, their phones held high like this was the most important moment of their lives. Then the air cracked with sonic boom. Something fast, faster than these humans could perceive but laughably slow to Goku's senses, descended from the sky. A figure in red, white, and blue, cape, billowing dramatically. Touched down 30 feet away with enough force to crack the concrete. The staging was perfect, practiced. The smile was brilliant white and completely empty. Homelander had arrived. "Well, well, well," the blond man said, his voice carrying that artificial cheerfulness of someone performing for cameras. Looks like we've got ourselves an unauthorized super. You know, buddy, in this country, we have rules, regulations. You can't just drop into Times Square without Vought clearance. Goku studied him with genuine interest. This one was different. His energy signature was stronger than the others, concentrated somehow. Still nothing compared to even Master Roshi's power level. But for this world, he seemed to be something special. And there was something off about his smile. It reminded Goku of the fake cheerfulness Cell had used right before trying to destroy the Earth. "Vought?" Goku asked. "What's that?" Homelander's eye twitched, just barely. "What's Vought? Are you serious right now?" He laughed, but there was an edge to it. "Vought International? The greatest superhero company in the world? The Seven? Me?" He gestured to himself. "Homelander, the greatest superhero who ever lived. Oh, you're a hero." Goku's face lit up with genuine pleasure. "That's great! Then maybe you can help me. I'm from another universe, and I need to find a way back home. Do you guys have anyone who knows about dimensional travel? Or really powerful energy manipulation? Or maybe some kind of dragon that grants wishes?" Homelander stared at him. The crowd stared at him. Even the police officers lowered their weapons slightly, completely thrown by this response. Another universe? Homelander's smile was straining now. "Right, okay. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to come with me to Vought Tower for processing. We'll get you registered, get you on the books, and figure out where you fit in our organization. Sound good?" There was no question in his tone. It was a command dressed up as an offer. Goku considered this. "Do you have food there? I'm starving." Dimensional travel really works up an appetite. Homelander blinked. Yes, we have food." "Then sure," Goku grinned. "Lead the way." As Homelander lifted off, Goku followed easily, matching his flight speed without any visible effort. The cameras captured it all, two figures rising into the New York sky. But only those with enhanced perception might have noticed the crucial detail. Homelander was straining to fly at top speed. Goku looked like he was taking a casual stroll. In Vought Tower's Crisis Management Center, Ashley Barrett watched the footage and felt her stomach drop. The readings coming from their sensors were impossible. The energy signature from this stranger made Homelander look like a nightlight next to the sun. She grabbed her phone with shaking hands and dialed the one person who needed to know. "We have a problem," she said, "and I don't think even Homelander can handle it." If you want to see more universe crossovers like this, hit subscribe and comment which character or world you want to see collide next. High above Manhattan, Goku followed his new friend toward the tower with the star, completely unaware that he just crashed into the most corrupt superhero industry in the multiverse. Vought Tower's executive landing pad was designed for dramatic entrances. Homelander touched down with his usual theatrical precision, cape settling perfectly around his shoulders. Goku simply stopped floating next to him, hands in his pockets, looking around with the curiosity of a tourist. "Nice building," Goku said. "It's really tall. How many people work here?" Homelander's smile hadn't wavered, but his eyes had taken on a predatory gleam. "Thousands. Vought International is the heart of superhero operations worldwide." He gestured toward the entrance where a dozen security personnel and 3 marketing executives waited. "We manage heroes, create brands, save the world, the usual." Ashley Barrett stepped forward, tablet clutched to her chest like a shield. Her smile so forced it looked painful. "Welcome to Vought Tower. I'm Ashley, Senior Vice President of Hero Management. We're so excited to meet you, mister. Just call me Goku." He waved cheerfully. "Son Goku, but Goku's fine." "Goku, right. Japanese origin?" She was already typing notes. "We can work with that. Very marketable. The suit is interesting. Vintage martial arts aesthetic. We might need to modernize it. Add some sponsor logos. My Gyai. Goku looked down at his orange and blue training outfit. Master Roshi gave me this style. Well, the original one. I've kind of destroyed it and replaced it a bunch of times. Homelander stepped closer, invading personal space in a way that made everyone else uncomfortable. So Goku, let's cut to the chase. What exactly are your powers? Flight, obviously. What else? Super strength? Invulnerability? His tone was casual, but there was an intensity behind it. A need to measure, to compare, to ensure his supremacy. Oh, lots of stuff, Goku said enthusiastically. I can control my that's like life energy, and use it to fly, shoot energy blasts, sense other people's power levels, teleport to places I've been before. I've trained in martial arts my whole life. I can transform to increase my power. And I've gotten pretty good at transform? Homelander interrupted. Like shape-shifting? No, more like powering up. Here, I'll show you a small one. Before anyone could respond, Goku clenched his fists. His aura erupted around him, golden light blazing with electrical energy crackling through it. His hair flickered and stood up, turning blonde, his eyes shifting to teal. The windows rattled. The concrete beneath his feet cracked in a perfect circle. Every phone in a 100-yard radius glitched. The security personnel stumbled backward. Ashley dropped her tablet, and Homelander's smile, finally, truly faltered. This is Super Saiyan, Goku explained, his voice carrying a slight echo of power. It multiplies my base power by 50 times. I've got a few levels beyond this, but I don't want to break anything. He powered down instantly, hair dropping back to black, the pressure in the air vanishing as quickly as it had appeared. He smiled apologetically. Sorry about that. Sometimes I forget how much energy I let off. Homelander stood very still. His fists were clenched at his sides. Behind his eyes, something dangerous was calculating, measuring, and finding the math deeply, deeply threatening. Fascinating, he said, voice tight. Ashley, why don't you take our guest to get processed? I need to speak with Madeline. I mean, with the executive team. Actually, Goku said, you mentioned food? 20 minutes later, Goku sat in Vought Tower's executive cafeteria, having already consumed 17 entrees, 8 sides, and 6 desserts. The kitchen staff watched in horror as he politely asked for more. Ashley sat across from him, her crisis management instincts screaming that everything about the situation was wrong. So, she said carefully, when you say another universe, you mean, oh, literally another universe, Goku said between bites of his 4th sandwich. I was training with Whis. He's an angel, teaches me and Vegeta, and we were practicing dimensional awareness. I kind of punched too hard and tore a hole in reality. Fell right through. He laughed like this was a minor inconvenience. Happens sometimes when you're at God-level power. The universe gets a little fragile. Ashley's hands trembled as she typed notes. God level, right. And in your universe, are there many people with your kind of power? Sure. Well, not many. But Vegeta's about as strong as me. Lord Beerus is way stronger. He's a god of destruction. Can destroy entire universes if he wants to. Then there's Whis, the Grand Priest, Zeno. He paused, noticing her expression. You okay? You look kind of pale. I'm fine, she lied. Just processing, so you can destroy universes? Me? Oh no, not anymore. I used to worry about accidentally destroying planets when I fought, but I've gotten way better at control. Now I can fight at full power without blowing up the solar system, as long as I'm careful. He said this like he was discussing improved table manners. In the security office, 3 floors down, every member of Vought's crisis team watched the conversation through hidden cameras. Stan Edgar, CEO of Vought International, stood with his hands behind his back, his expression unreadable. "Analysis," he said quietly. A technician's voice shook. "Sir, the energy readings during his transformation were off the scale. Our sensors literally couldn't measure the upper limit. If he's telling the truth about multiple forms beyond what we saw, he is," Stan said. "You can hear it in his voice. He's not bragging. He's just explaining facts, the way you might explain that water is wet." He turned to his head of security. "Where's Homelander?" 73rd floor, sir. In his apartment. He's been there since the landing pad. We can hear him through the walls. He's breaking things." Stan nodded slowly. "Understandable. He's just learned he's not the strongest creature on Earth. Probably not even in the top 10 if this Goku person is the standard in his universe." He turned back to the screen. "The question is, what do we do with him?" "Sir, if I may," Ashley's assistant spoke up through the comms. "He seems nice, like genuinely nice. He's not posturing or threatening. He just wants to go home." "That," Stan said, "might be the most dangerous thing about him. Homelander we can control with adoration and careful manipulation, but someone who genuinely doesn't care about fame, power, or money." He adjusted his tie. "That's unpredictable." Back in the cafeteria, Goku finished his 23rd plate and leaned back contentedly. "Thanks for the food. That was great. So, can you help me get home?" Ashley opened her mouth to answer when the wall exploded. Homelander floated through the hole he'd just punched, eyes glowing red, smiles stretched into something terrible. "Actually, Goku, I think we should have that conversation now, the real one. About who exactly runs things in this world." Goku stood up slowly, his expression shifting from confused to alert. He'd seen that look before. The look of someone about to do something very, very stupid. "You seem upset," Goku said carefully. "Did I do something wrong?" "Wrong," Homelander laughed, high and unstable. No, I just think it's time someone taught you how things work here. Someone needs to show you that in this universe, in this world, I am the top of the food chain. Me. Not some dimensional tourist in a Halloween costume." His eyes blazed brighter. Heat vision, concentrated and deadly, lanced across the space where Goku had been standing. Goku wasn't there anymore. He was behind Homelander, 2 fingers pressed gently against the back of his head. "That wasn't very heroic," Goku said quietly. "You almost hurt all those people in the kitchen." Homelander spun, faster than any human could track, swinging a punch that could cave in a tank. Goku caught it with one hand, effortlessly. The shockwave shattered every window on the floor. The silence after the shockwave was deafening. Homelander stared at his fist, his full strength, kill anything punch, held motionless in Goku's casual grip. The Saiyans' expression wasn't mocking or triumphant. It was concerned, like a parent catching a toddler doing something dangerous. "Listen," Goku said gently. "I don't know what's going on with you, but attacking people isn't..." Homelander's other fist came around in a desperate haymaker. Goku caught that one too. Then Homelander's eyes erupted with heat vision at point-blank range. Twin beams of concentrated energy that could cut through steel like paper. Goku's head tilted slightly as the beams hit his face. They washed over his skin like warm water. He didn't even blink. "That tickles," Goku said, more confused than anything. Something broke in Homelander's expression. The mask of superiority shattered completely, replaced by pure, primal rage. He screamed. an incoherent sound of fury and fear, and tried to headbutt Goku with enough force to crater concrete. The impact echoed through Vought Tower like a gunshot. Homelander reeled backward, clutching his forehead, blood trickling from his hairline. Goku hadn't moved an inch, hadn't even released Homelander's fists. "Okay, that's enough," Goku said, and gently pushed Homelander away. The force was so controlled, so precise, that Homelander simply floated backward 15 feet and stopped in midair, momentum perfectly canceled. For the first time in his life, Homelander felt it. Real, genuine, bone-deep terror. "What are you?" he whispered. "I'm just a martial artist who loves a good fight," Goku said, brushing dust off his GI. "But that wasn't a fight. You weren't trying to test yourself. You were trying to hurt people." His expression grew serious. "Where I come from, we have lots of strong fighters. Some of them were evil at first. Vegeta, Piccolo, even Buu. But they changed. They learned that strength isn't about being on top. It's about protecting people who can't protect themselves." "Protecting people?" Homelander repeated numbly. His hands were shaking. "You don't understand. I am the hero. I'm the fucking standard. You're scared," Goku said simply. "I can sense it. Your energy is all twisted up with fear and anger." He tilted his head. Why would a hero be scared? Before Homelander could answer, before he could even process the question, the elevator dinged. The doors opened to reveal 4 people, and the energy in the room shifted immediately. These weren't corporate executives or security. These were dangerous individuals who'd seen real violence and carried it with them like a second skin. Billy Butcher stepped out first, his black coat and dead-eyed stare giving him the appearance of a man who'd long ago stopped pretending to be civilized. Behind him came Huey Campbell, nervous but determined. Then Mother's Milk, hand resting on a concealed weapon. And finally, Kimiko, her silence more threatening than any words. Well, Butcher said, his British accent thick with mockery. "Looks like someone finally put the cunt in his place." Homelander's head snapped toward them, and for a moment the old bravado returned. "Butcher, how did you get in here?" "Same way we always do, mate. Your security's shite." Butcher's eyes moved to Goku, appraising. "But we're not here for you today. We're here for the new player." He pointed at Goku. "You. The bloke who just no-sold Homelander's best shot. We need to talk." "How did you even know I was here?" Goku asked. "The whole bloody world knows you're here," MM said, holding up his phone. The screen showed trending topics. Alien Super Vought. New recruit Homelander challenged. "You've got 40 million views on YouTube already." Goku blinked. "What's a YouTube?" Huey made a sound halfway between a laugh and a sob. "Oh my God, he's serious." "Listen carefully, mate," Butcher said, stepping closer. His intensity was different from Homelander's, less explosive, more controlled, but somehow more dangerous because of it. "You seem like you might actually give a damn about people. So I'm going to tell you something important about this world you've landed in." He gestured at Homelander. "That thing there, that's not a hero. None of them are. They're corporate products pumped full of a chemical called compound Vi that gives them powers. Then Vought, this company, they market them, monetize them, and cover up every rape, murder, and atrocity they commit." "That's a lie," Homelander said weakly. "Is it?" Butcher pulled out a tablet, swiped through files. "Flight 37. You let an entire plane full of people crash rather than admit you fucked up the rescue. Madeline Stillwell. You murdered her with your laser eyes when she became inconvenient. Blind spot. You deafened him for failing an audition." He looked at Goku. "Want me to go on? Because I've got hundreds." Goku's expression had gone very still. "Is this true?" "They're terrorists," Homelander said desperately. "They're lying to manipulate you. I save people. I'm a hero. You're a fucking monster in a cape," Butcher finished. "And the only reason you get away with it is because there's been nobody strong enough to stop you." His grin was vicious. "Until now." Goku looked at Homelander with new eyes, sensing deeper now. Past the fear and anger to the rot underneath. The casual disregard for life. The narcissism. The barely controlled violence waiting to explode. It was all there. Written in his energy signature like a book Goku had learned to read fighting demons and tyrants. "You killed innocent people," Goku said quietly. "People who couldn't defend themselves." "I'm the hero," Homelander said. And it sounded like a desperate prayer. "I'm the hero." "No," Goku said. "You're not." Homelander's face twisted. "You don't get to judge me. You don't know what it's like. The pressure, the expectations, the constant fucking need to be perfect." His voice rose to a scream. "I am perfect. I am a god." "I've fought gods," Goku said. "Real ones. And the good ones never had to tell anyone." Homelander's scream of rage rattled windows across 5 floors. He launched himself at Goku with everything he had. Speed, strength, heat vision, all of it focused into one desperate assault to prove his supremacy. Goku sighed and disappeared. To the normal humans in the room, it looked like teleportation. One instant, Goku was there. The next, he was behind Homelander, hand raised. He tapped Homelander on the back of the neck, a precise strike to a pressure point. Homelander dropped like a puppet with cut strings, unconscious before he hit the floor. The boys stared. Ashley, watching from behind an overturned table, stared. Every security camera in Vought Tower captured the moment when the strongest Supe in the world was casually knocked out with a single tap. "Right then," Butcher said into the silence. "We definitely need to talk. Preferably somewhere without 100 Vought cameras watching." He looked at Goku with something that might have been respect. "You hungry? I know a place that does a proper shawarma." Goku's face lit up. "I love food. Is shawarma good?" "Mate," Butcher said, "I think you and I are going to get along just fine." The shawarma place was a hole-in-the-wall joint in Brooklyn, far from Vaught's surveillance network. Goku sat at a cramped table designed for 4 people, currently occupied by 7 if you counted the growing mountain of empty plates. The owner had stopped looking surprised after the 15th order and just kept the food coming. "So let me get this straight," MM said, watching Goku demolish his 23rd wrap. "You're from another dimension where people train to get stronger instead of injecting experimental drugs." "Yep," Goku said cheerfully through a mouthful of lamb. "Though some people use magic or technology, but mostly it's training. Lots and lots of training. I've been doing it since I was a kid." "And you can blow up planets," Huey said weakly. "Well, yeah, but I don't. That would be pretty messed up." Goku took another massive bite. "Usually I'm trying to save planets. It's kind of my thing." Butcher leaned back, studying Goku with the intensity of a man trying to find the angle, the weakness, the exploitable flaw. "And you just help people? For free? No sponsorships, no merchandise deals, no Vought contract?" "What? No. Why would I charge people for helping them?" Goku looked genuinely confused. "That seems wrong." Kimiko signed something rapidly. Frenchie translated. "She says you are either the most dangerous man in the world or the most naive." "Probably both," Goku admitted with a laugh. My wife tells me I'm too trusting, but I figure most people are good deep down. They just need a chance to show it. That's a lovely sentiment, Butcher said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Real heartwarming. But this world chews up people like you and spits them out. Vought will try to own you. The government will try to weaponize you. And Homelander? He leaned forward. When he wakes up and realizes you humiliated him in front of witnesses, he's going to come at you with everything he has, and he doesn't give a single fuck about collateral damage. Then I'll stop him, Goku said simply. If he tries to hurt people, I'll protect them. Just like that? Just like that. Rubbed his temples. You really don't get how deep this goes, do you? It's not just Homelander. It's the Seven. It's Vought International. It's the US government who's complicit in all of it. It's a system designed to protect Supes no matter what they do. Then the system's broken, Goku said, finishing another plate. Where I come from, when something's broken, you fix it. And if bad people are running things, you beat them up until they stop being bad or someone better takes over. Butcher's laugh was sharp and humorless. I like you, mate. I really do. But you can't just punch systemic corruption in the face. Why not? Goku asked. I've punched dictators, evil emperors, gods who wanted to destroy the universe. Usually works pretty well. Because, Huey said quietly. What happens after? You knock out Homelander, great. But Vought has a dozen facilities around the world creating new Supes. They've got politicians in their pocket. They've got the media. Even if you could destroy all of that, and maybe you can, what comes next? Who fills the power vacuum? Goku set down his wrap, his expression thoughtful. That's a good question. Back home, after we defeat someone, they either change or someone steps up to lead better. But you're saying nobody here would? We're saying, explained, that this world is so fucked up that people worship the monsters. They buy Homelander action figures for their kids. They defend him on Twitter when videos leak of him being a psychopath. The system isn't just broken. The people believe in it. The table fell silent. Even Butcher seemed momentarily subdued by the bleakness of his own words. Then Goku smiled, not his usual cheerful grin, but something more determined. You know what? I've fought enemies who seemed unbeatable too. Frieza ruled an empire. Cell was perfect. Majin Buu destroyed galaxies, but every time we found a way. Not just to beat them, but to make things better after. He looked at each of them in turn. You guys are already fighting, right? Even though you're way weaker than the Supes? Yeah, Butcher said carefully. We are. Then you're braver than most warriors I know, Goku said seriously. Where I'm from, when you're outmatched that badly, most people give up. But you didn't. That means something. He stood up, energized. So, here's what I think. While I figure out how to get home, I'll help you. We'll expose what Vaught's doing. We'll stop Homelander. And we'll show people what real heroes look like. Just like that? Butcher repeated, incredulous. Just like that. Huey's phone buzzed, then buzzed again, then started ringing incessantly. He looked at the screen and went pale. Guys, we need to see this. He turned the phone around. The news feed showed Vought Tower, where a press conference was starting. Ashley stood at a podium, looking like she'd aged 10 years in 2 hours. Behind her, massive screens displayed footage, carefully edited footage, of Goku's arrival. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley said, her voice shaking, Vought International must inform you of a potential extraterrestrial threat. The individual known as Goku has demonstrated extreme hostility toward Earth's heroes. He attacked Homelander unprovoked, causing significant damage to our facilities. We're classifying him as a Class A hostile entity. The footage rolled. It showed Goku's transformation, the golden aura, the cracking concrete, edited to look aggressive. It showed him attacking Homelander. With the actual sequence of events reversed, the narrative was clear. Dangerous alien threatens Earth's greatest hero. We're urging all citizens to remain calm, Ashley continued. Vought has mobilized the 7 and several auxiliary super teams to locate and neutralize this threat. If you see this individual, do not approach. Contact authorities immediately. Goku stared at the screen, confused. But that's not what happened. Homelander attacked first. I was defending. Welcome to Earth, mate, Butcher said darkly. Where the truth is, whatever Vought says it is. MM's phone rang. He answered, listened, and his expression hardened. That was one of our contacts inside. Vaught's not just mobilizing the 7. They've activated Payback survivors. They're calling in international assets. And they've authorized lethal force. How many? Frenchie asked. Every supe they can get their hands on. Maybe 40, 50 enhanced individuals. MM looked at Goku. They're going to war against you. Goku's expression didn't show fear. Instead, his eyes lit up with something that made the boys deeply uncomfortable. Excitement. Really? He said. 40 or 50 fighters at once. That sounds like a real challenge. Mate, Butcher said slowly. They're trying to kill you. I know, Goku said, cracking his knuckles. But see, where I'm from, when lots of strong people show up for a fight, it usually means someone's about to learn an important lesson about the difference between real strength and fake power. His grin was pure Saiyan battle joy. Let them come. Outside, sirens began to wail. The safe house was in an abandoned subway station beneath the Bronx, one of a dozen locations the boys maintained for exactly this kind of emergency. Butcher paced like a caged animal while Huey frantically scrolled through social media, watching Vaught's narrative spread like wildfire. Stop, the alien threat is trending worldwide, Huey said, voice hollow. They're calling you an invader, saying you're here to colonize Earth. There are people already demanding the military get involved. Goku sat cross-legged on the concrete floor, eyes closed, sensing energy signatures across the city. I can feel them gathering, lots of them. Their power levels are all over the place, some stronger than others, but none of them are even close to that Homelander guy. He opened one eye. You really think they'll all attack at once? Vaught's strategy is always overwhelming force and media control, MM said, loading weapons with practiced efficiency. They'll surround you, get footage of the 7 defending humanity, and if you fight back, every dead supe becomes a martyr. If you don't fight back, they'll kill you anyway and claim victory. Sounds complicated, Goku said. Why don't I just go to this Vought place and talk to whoever's in charge, explain the truth? Butcher barked a bitter laugh. The truth? Mate, Stan Edgar doesn't give a fuck about truth. He cares about profit, power, and control. You're a threat to all 3. He stopped pacing and crouched in front of Goku. But you're also an opportunity. The greatest weapon against Vought we've ever had. Something in Butcher's tone made Goku's eyes sharpen. What do you mean? Butcher pulled out a small case from his jacket. Inside were 3 vials of glowing blue liquid. This is Temp V, Temporary Compound V. Gives normal people superpowers for 24 hours. Huey's used it. I've used it. And with your power level, if you took this, no. The word was quiet, but absolute. Goku stood up, looking at the vials with something close to disgust. I don't take shortcuts. Everything I am, every bit of strength I have, I earned through training and fighting and pushing past my limits. That stuff? He pointed at the Temp V. That's cheating. Cheating? Butcher's voice rose. This is war. Vought doesn't fight fair. Homelander doesn't fight fair. And if you want to actually make a difference, I said no. Goku's voice didn't rise, but the temperature in the room seemed to drop. For just a moment, the boys glimpsed something beneath the cheerful exterior. A warrior who'd faced down gods and refused to compromise. I've seen what happens when people try to steal power they didn't earn. It corrupts them, turns them into exactly what they were fighting against. Kimiko signed rapidly, her movements emphatic. Frenchie translated. She says he is right. The Temp V, it changes you, makes you feel invincible, makes you stop caring about the cost. I don't need to be more powerful, Goku continued, his bout softening. I need to understand what I'm really fighting here. This isn't about beating up bad guys. It's about showing people there's a better way. He looked at Butcher. You want to use me as a weapon. I get that. But weapons don't change systems. People do. Bloody hell, Butcher muttered. You're really going to stand there and tell me that punching isn't the answer? No, Goku grinned. Punching is definitely part of the answer, but it's not the whole answer. You need to... The lights flickered, then died completely. Emergency backup systems kicked in, bathing the safe house in red light. Checked his equipment. We've got electromagnetic interference. Strong. Multiple sources. He looked up, face grim. They're here. Above ground, the street had been evacuated. NYPD barricades held back crowds of filming civilians. News helicopters circled at maximum safe distance. And descending from the ski in a coordinated formation were the Seven, or what remained of them, along with a dozen other Supes in various costumes. Homelander led them, his face a mask of controlled fury. His left eye was bruised, the only visible damage from Goku's strike, but enough to shatter his illusion of invincibility. Beside him flew Starlight, her expression conflicted. A-Train vibrated with barely contained speed. Black Noir moved with predatory silence. The Deep looked nervous, completely out of his element on dry land. Behind them came the reinforcements. Queen Maeve, pulled from retirement for this. Soldier Boy, recently unleashed from containment. Stormfront, somehow still alive despite her injuries. And 24 international Supes. Red River from Russia, Tianchi from China. Dozens more whose powers had made them celebrities in their home countries. That's him down there, Homelander said, pointing at the subway entrance. The alien who attacked me, who attacked all of us. His voice carried, amplified for the cameras. He's declared war on Earth's heroes, on humanity itself, but we don't surrender. We don't negotiate with terrorists. We end threats. Homelander, Starlight said quietly. Are we sure about this? The footage looked like what, Annie? Homelander's head snapped toward her, eyes glowing faintly. Like I'm wrong. Like Vought's wrong. Are you questioning orders? She fell silent, but her hands clenched into fists. In the safe house, Goku stood and stretched. Guess talking time's over. You guys should stay down here where it's safe. Safe? Huey laughed hysterically. If you lose up there, nowhere's safe. If you win, Vought will hunt us forever for helping you. We're not safe either way. Then help me another way, Goku said. Record what really happens. Make sure people see the truth. Can you do that, Mim? Pulled out a camera with military-grade specs. Already on it. Butcher grabbed Goku's arm as he headed for the stairs. Listen to me. These cunts will use every dirty trick they have. Hostages, emotional manipulation, whatever it takes. Homelander especially. He'll target civilians just to make you look bad. I know, Goku said seriously. I've fought people like that before. Vegeta used to threaten planets just to get me to fight seriously. Cell almost destroyed the Earth trying to force me to my limit. He smiled, but there was steel in it. But every time, I found a way to protect everyone and win. I'll do the same here. He walked up the stairs into the red emergency lighting. Butcher watched him go, then looked at the others. If this goes sideways, he said quietly, if Goku loses or gets corrupted, or goes full alien invasion, I need you all to promise me something. We end it, whatever it takes. And if he wins? Frenchie asked. Butcher's smile was sharp as broken glass. Then we finally have what we've always needed. Proof that Homelander isn't a god, that Vought's Supes can be beaten, and maybe, just maybe, a chance to burn the whole rotten system to the ground. Above them, Goku emerged onto the street. 43 enhanced individuals floated or stood in a semicircle around him, power crackling between them like a coming storm. Goku looked up at them all and grinned. Hey there, anyone want to talk this out? Homelander's eyes blazed red. Kill him! The first attack came from Soldier Boy, a blast of nuclear-level energy that turned night into day. It hit Goku square in the chest with enough force to vaporize a city block. The smoke cleared. Goku stood there, gi slightly singed, looking more annoyed than hurt. That was rude, he said. I asked if you wanted to talk. Then they all hit him at once. A-Train moved first, running at speeds that broke the sound barrier 17 times in 2 seconds, throwing punches faster than cameras could capture. Each hit carried enough force to shatter concrete. He landed 463 strikes in the time it took a normal human to blink. Goku caught his fist on the 464th attempt. You're fast, Goku said appreciatively. But you're not using your speed efficiently. You're just running in straight lines. Here, let me show you. He disappeared. A-Train's eyes went wide as Goku reappeared behind him, tapped him gently on the shoulder, then vanished again. A-Train spun, threw a punch at empty air. And suddenly, Goku was beside him, hands in pockets, matching his speed perfectly while walking casually. See? Speed's not just about moving fast. It's about seeing fast, thinking fast, being fast. You're wasting energy. A-Train pushed harder, veins bulging in his forehead as his heart strained. Goku kept pace effortlessly, like a teacher jogging alongside a struggling student. Then Homelander's heat vision lanced down from above, not at Goku, at a news van parked 200 feet away. Goku's playful expression vanished. He moved, truly moved. And suddenly he was in front of the van, hand raised. The heat vision splashed against his palm like water hitting stone, dispersing harmlessly into the air. I told you, Goku called up, his voice hard now. I won't let you hurt innocent people. Then you'll have to be everywhere at once, Homelander screamed and gestured. 20 Supes scattered in different directions, targeting the crowd behind the barricades, the news crews, the police officers. Goku's eyes flickered across the battlefield, calculating trajectories, power levels, intentions. His hand rose to his forehead in the familiar stance of instant transmission. He vanished. Queen Maeve was mid-swing at a cameraman when Goku appeared, caught her fist, and gently redirected it into the pavement. Don't! He teleported. Stormfront's lightning bolt froze in midair as Goku appeared in its path, absorbed the entire charge into his hand, and dispersed it harmlessly. That's enough. Teleport. The deep's water construct collapsed as Goku appeared inside it, walked out dry, and set the aquatic hero down carefully. You should sit this one out. Teleport, teleport, teleport. In the span of 3 seconds, Goku intercepted 14 separate attacks aimed at civilians, disabled 7 Supes without seriously injuring them, and repositioned himself back in the center of the battlefield. "Okay," he said, breathing slightly heavier now. "New rule. You want to fight me? Fine. But civilians are off limits. Break that rule and I stop being nice." Black Noir moved like a shadow, twin blades flashing toward Goku's throat. Goku caught both blades between 2 fingers, holding them motionless. "You're skilled," Goku said, genuinely impressed by Noir's technique. "Trained assassin. Your form's excellent, but these weapons won't work on me." He released the blades. Noir attacked again, faster, more desperate. Goku dodged without moving his feet, his body swaying like a reed in wind as blade strikes passed millimeters from his skin. "Your ki is conflicted," Goku said, still dodging. "You're not evil, just broken. Someone hurt you, programmed you." His eyes showed sympathy. "I've fought people who were controlled before. It's not your fault." Black Noir hesitated, just for a fraction of a second, and in that hesitation, something human flickered behind the mask. Homelander saw it. "Noir, kill him now!" The hesitation vanished, crushed under layers of conditioning, but Goku had seen it, had felt it. And he filed that information away. Starlight hung back, electricity crackling around her fists, watching. Every instinct screamed that this was wrong. Goku had defended civilians, had shown restraint even when attacked. He hadn't killed anyone despite clearly being able to, and Homelander, she watched him orchestrate attacks on innocent people, using them as bait, as distractions. This wasn't heroism. This was murder dressed in patriotic colors. "Annie!" Homelander's voice snapped. "Are you with us or with the terrorist?" She looked at Goku, then at Homelander, then at the terrified civilians behind the barricades. She made her choice. Her power surged, brilliant white light flooding the battlefield, but not at Goku. At the CCTV cameras on nearby buildings, the news helicopter cameras, every recording device Vought controlled. She overloaded them all, creating seconds of electronic blindness. "Run!" she screamed at the civilians. "Everyone run! Get out of here!" Homelander's head whipped toward her, betrayal and fury warring in his expression. "You fucking traitor!" Goku moved faster than thought, positioned himself between Homelander and Starlight. "Bad idea," he said simply. Soldier Boy unleashed another nuclear blast at point-blank range. Goku caught it in both hands, compressed it into a ball of writhing energy, and tossed it straight up into the stratosphere where it detonated harmlessly. "You know," Goku said, his patience clearly wearing thin, "where I come from, when warriors fight, there are rules, honor, respect. But you guys?" He looked around at the assembled Supes, his expression hardening. "You're not warriors. You're bullies with powers you didn't earn, attacking anyone weaker than you." His aura began to glow. Not golden yet, just the white-blue of his base Kai. But even that much made the air vibrate with pressure. "I've been holding back because I didn't want to hurt you, because maybe you're victims of this Compound 5 thing. Maybe you never had a choice." His eyes met Homelander's. "But if you keep targeting innocents, if you keep acting like power means you can do whatever you want." The pressure increased. Streetlights shattered. Car alarms wailed. Every supe on the battlefield felt it, a weight pressing down on their souls, making it hard to breathe. Then I'll show you what real power looks like. In the safe house, MM's equipment registered the energy spike and immediately redlined. Jesus Christ, he whispered. He's not even trying yet. This is him barely warming up. Butcher stared at the reading, then at the live feed from MM's military camera, one of the few not fried by Starlight's EMP burst. On screen, Goku stood surrounded by 40-plus supes, and somehow he looked like the predator in a room full of prey. Huey, Butcher said quietly, remember when I said you can't punch systemic corruption? Yeah, I might have been wrong. Above ground, Homelander made his decision. Pride, fear, and rage crystallized into one final, desperate gambit. He looked at Tian-Chi, the Chinese supe with reality-warping abilities. The orphanage, Homelander said. 3 blocks west. Level it. Goku's head snapped toward him, eyes wide with disbelief. You wouldn't. Homelander's smile was the grin of a drowning man pulling everyone down with him. Try me. The moment stretched like a blade drawn across skin. Thin, sharp, inevitable. Goku's eyes locked onto Tian-Chi as the reality warper raised his hands toward the distant building. Instant transmission would get him there in a heartbeat, but the others would attack civilians the second he left. His mind raced through scenarios, each one ending with someone dying. Then Starlight did something extraordinary. She grabbed Tian-Chi's arm and pumped 50,000 volts directly into his nervous system. Not enough to kill, but enough to disrupt his concentration completely. The reality warper collapsed, twitching. Nobody's killing kids tonight, she said, voice shaking but resolute. Homelander's face contorted into something inhuman. You just signed your death warrant, Annie. Get in line, she shot back. The battlefield erupted into chaos, but this time it was different. The supes weren't coordinated anymore. Some, like A-Train in the Deep, looked uncertain, glancing between Homelander's madness and Starlight's defiance. Others, the international assets with less loyalty to Vought, began backing away from what was clearly becoming a suicide mission. But the true believers remained. Soldier Boy, Stormfront, a dozen others too indoctrinated or too broken to question orders. Homelander's voice cut through the chaos like a scalpel. New plan. Forget the alien. Kill Starlight. Kill anyone who doesn't follow orders. Show them what happens to traitors. He moved toward Starlight with murder in his eyes. Goku was faster. The sound was like a thunderclap. One instant, Homelander was airborne. The next, he was buried 3 feet deep in asphalt, Goku's hand on his chest, holding him down with casual, absolute force. I tried to be nice, Goku said, his voice carrying across the suddenly silent battlefield. I tried to talk. I tried to hold back. But you just threatened kids. You just ordered your own teammate killed for doing the right thing. His eyes hardened. Now I'm done being nice. His aura exploded outward. Pure white Kai that lit up 6 city blocks like a miniature sun. The pressure was immense, crushing, making even the strongest supes drop to their knees. Car windows shattered in a 3-block radius. The pavement cracked in a spider web pattern spreading from Goku's feet. This is 1%, Goku said quietly, but everyone heard him. 1% of my base power, not even transformed, and it's already more than all of you combined. He looked around at the assembled supes, most of them struggling to stand under the weight of his presence. So here's what's going to happen. Anyone who wants to keep fighting, step forward. Anyone who's done, walk away. But if you attack civilians again, if you go after that girl for protecting children, He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. Soldier Boy, teeth gritted against the pressure, rose to his feet. I don't care how strong you are. I've been fighting since World War II. I don't quit. I respect that, Goku said, and meant it. At least you've got warrior's pride. But are you really fighting for something, or are you just following orders? Soldier Boy paused. For decades, he'd been Vought's weapon, their perfect soldier. He'd done terrible things in the name of patriotism, of duty. But looking at this strange man who could kill them all in seconds but chose restraint, chose protection. Fuck, Soldier Boy muttered, and lowered his fists. Fuck this. I didn't sign up to kill kids. Coward! Homelander screamed from the crater, straining against Goku's hand. His eyes blazed with heat vision, firing directly into Goku's face at maximum intensity. Goku took it without blinking. Are you done? Stormfront launched herself forward, lightning crackling, spouting something in German about racial purity and superior beings. Goku sighed, released Homelander, and moved. His palm strike was precise, controlled, and devastating. It caught Stormfront mid-flight, disrupted her electrical field, and sent her tumbling into a reinforced concrete barrier. She didn't get up. Anyone else? Goku asked. The international Supes began retreating. First one, then 3, then a dozen. They were mercenaries and celebrities, not zealots. This wasn't their fight. And the pay wasn't worth dying against someone who could casually no-sell a nuclear blast. That left the Seven's loyalists, a handful of Vought's most indoctrinated assets, and Homelander pulling himself from the crater, face twisted with the kind of rage that came from a lifetime of unchallenged supremacy meeting its first real obstacle. In Vought Tower's command center, Stan Edgar watched the feeds with his characteristic calm, even as his entire strategy collapsed. Ashley stood beside him, hyperventilating into a paper bag. Sir, she managed between breaths. What do we do? He's dismantling everything. The narrative, the power structure, Homelander's mystique. We adapt, Stan said simply. If we can't control him, we study him. If we can't study him, we negotiate. And if we can't negotiate, he adjusted his tie. We ensure that even if Vought falls, something worse doesn't rise to take its place. Something worse than Vought? Stan smiled without humor. Ms. Barrett, the world is full of governments and organizations who would love to create their own Supes. We've held the monopoly for decades. If we collapse overnight, do you think China, Russia, and a dozen other powers won't fill that vacuum? He watched Goku defend Starlight from Black Noir's ambush. That man might be powerful, but he's one person. He can't be everywhere. And the moment he leaves, or dies, the real war begins. On the battlefield, Homelander had rallied his remaining forces into a coordinated assault. Black Noir attacked from the shadows. Queen Maeve, reluctantly but still bound by contracts and blackmail, struck from the flank. A-Train created a vortex of supersonic movement to disorient. 3 pyrokinetic Supes generated an inferno hot enough to melt steel. Goku stood in the center of it all, calm as stone. You're all holding back, he said, genuinely disappointed. I can feel it. You're scared, conflicted. Some of you don't even want to be here. That's not how warriors fight. He looked directly at Queen Maeve. Especially you. Your energy signature's full of regret. You used to be better than this. Maeve's fist hesitated mid-swing. How the fuck would you know? Because I can sense it. The person you used to be before Vought broke you down. His expression softened. It's not too late to be that person again. Jesus Christ, she whispered, and stepped back, fists lowering. "Maeve!" Homelander shrieked. "You follow orders or I'll— You'll what?" Goku interrupted, suddenly in front of Homelander, their faces inches apart. "Hurt her? Kill her? Destroy everything you can't control?" His voice was quiet, dangerous. "I've met tyrants before. Frieza destroyed planets for fun. Cell wanted to consume all life. Boo turned people into candy. But you know what? At least they were honest about what they were." He poked Homelander in the chest, a gesture so casual it was insulting. "You pretend to be a hero while acting like a monster. That's worse than being evil. That's being a coward." Homelander's scream was primal, wordless, the sound of ego shattering. His entire body glowed with heat vision bleeding from every pore. He grabbed Goku and flew straight up, accelerating to Mach 2, then Mach 3, climbing toward the stratosphere. "I'll drop you from space," Homelander screamed. "See if you survive terminal velocity." Goku let himself be carried upward, watching the Earth shrink below. At 60,000 feet, Homelander stopped, holding Goku by the throat. "Any last words, you alien piece of shit?" Goku smiled. "Yeah, you should have asked if I could fly." He placed 2 fingers on his forehead and teleported, leaving Homelander clutching empty air. An instant later, Goku reappeared on the ground, standing next to Starlight. Far above, Homelander floated alone in the thin air, the weight of his failure crushing down on him like atmospheric pressure. Homelander descended slowly, his silhouette backlit by the moon like a falling angel. But there was nothing divine in his expression, only the cold, calculating fury of a narcissist pushed past breaking point. He landed 50 feet from Goku, cape settling around him with practiced drama. "You want to know the funny thing?" Homelander said, his voice eerily calm now. "I could have been like you. Before Vought, before the labs, before they made me into a product." His smile was broken glass. "But they took a baby and turned him into America's favorite superhero. And now you show up, showing everyone what I could have been if I wasn't this." "It's not too late," Goku said. "I've seen people change. Vegeta tried to kill me, destroy Earth, murdered millions. Now he's one of my best friends and protects the universe. Piccolo tried to conquer the world. Android 17 was built to kill me. They all chose to be better." "How inspirational," Homelander said flatly. "But here's the difference between your universe and mine. In your world, people get stronger through effort, through choice. In mine," he gestured at himself, "we're accidents. Chemical experiments. Products off an assembly line. I didn't choose this power. I didn't earn it. It was forced into my veins before I could walk." For the first time, Goku saw past the ego to the broken child underneath. "That's actually really sad." "Don't you dare pity me," Homelander snarled. But there was something desperate in it. A new voice cut through the tension. "Touching moment, really. But we're not done here." Billy Butcher emerged from the subway entrance, and he wasn't alone. Huey, Mia, Frenchie, and Kimiko flanked him. But more importantly, Butcher held a syringe filled with glowing blue liquid. Temp V. "Butcher, no," Goku said immediately. "I told you, Not for you, mate." Butcher's grin was vicious as he jammed the needle into his own arm. The transformation was instant and violent. His eyes lit up with golden energy. Heat vision, crude and unstable, leaked from his pupils. Power flooded through him, borrowed, temporary, toxic, but real. "I've been waiting years for this," Butcher said, levitating awkwardly off the ground. "To look this cunt in the eyes as an equal." "You'll never be my equal," Homelander said. but his voice lacked conviction. He was already diminished in everyone's eyes. What was one more person with powers? And Huey had injected themselves too. Huey teleported experimentally, disappearing and reappearing 3 feet to the left. MM's skin turned obsidian hard, invulnerable. Even Frenchie crackled with some kind of molecular manipulation field. "This is a mistake," Goku warned. "That stuff's changing you. I can sense it. Your energy signatures are becoming corrupted, unstable." 24 hours, Butcher said, rising higher, his newfound power intoxicating. "We've got 24 hours of borrowed godhood, and I'm gonna use every second to tear this bastard apart." He launched himself at Homelander. Their collision sent shockwaves rippling outward. Heat vision met heat vision in a blinding cross of red energy. They grappled in midair, 2 men who defined themselves by their hatred finally able to hurt each other. Starlight moved to Goku's side, watching the brutal aerial combat. "Is he right? About the Temp AV corrupting them?" "Yeah," Goku said quietly. "It's given them power their bodies can't handle. Their ki is tearing itself apart. Even if they survive the 24 hours, the damage..." He shook his head. "They'll never be the same." "Can you stop them?" "I could, but I don't think they'd forgive me." He watched Butcher land a devastating punch that sent Homelander spiraling. Sometimes people need to make their own choices, even bad ones. Above them, the fight was becoming uglier. Huey teleported erratically, his molecular structure destabilizing with each jump. Charged with invulnerability that was already cracking at the edges. Frenchie's molecular field flickered unstably. But Butcher fought with the fury of a man who'd lost everything to Homelander's cruelty. Every punch carried years of grief. Every blast of heat vision was for his dead wife, Becca. For every victim Homelander left in his wake. "This is for her!" Butcher screamed, driving his fist into Homelander's face with enough force to crack teeth. "For every life you ruined, every person you murdered." Homelander fought back desperately, but something had broken in him. Goku had shattered his sense of supremacy. Starlight had shattered his authority. And now Butcher, regular, human, powerless Billy Butcher, was beating him while pumped full of the same drug that made him. "You're nothing special," Butcher snarled, catching Homelander's wrist mid-punch. "Just another junkie. We're the same now, you and me, both running on borrowed time and chemical courage." In that moment, Homelander saw his reflection. Not the perfect hero, but the product. The addict. The manufactured legend with nothing genuine underneath. He broke. His scream shook windows for miles. He tore away from Butcher and flew, not up to fight, but away. Fleeing for the first time in his life, chased by the truth he could no longer deny. Butcher moved to follow, but Goku caught his arm gently. "Let him go." "The fuck I will. I've waited." "You're dying," Goku said bluntly. "Your energy signature is collapsing. All of you. The Temp V is burning through your bodies faster than you can heal. You've got maybe an hour before major organ failure starts." Butcher looked at his hands. They were shaking, veins glowing blue-white beneath the skin like cracks in porcelain. "Worth it," he gasped. "Totally fucking worth it." Then the real threat arrived. Military helicopters appeared on the horizon, dozens of them. But these weren't news crews or police. These were Apache gunships with experimental weapon. Behind them came something worse. A massive transport carrying what looked like a mechanized suit, 50 feet tall, bristling with weapons. A voice boomed from loudspeakers. "Attention unregistered super entities. You are in violation of federal law. Stand down or be neutralized with extreme prejudice." They built a mech? Huey said weakly, his Temp V enhanced eyes already bleeding. They actually built a fucking anti-supe mech? Goku studied the machine with interest. That's kind of cool, actually. Reminds me of the robots Dr. Jiro built. Though those were way stronger. The mech's pilot, a career military officer pumped full of compound phi for this mission, activated the weapon systems. Plasma cannons, missile pods, and something that made Goku's instincts prickle, a dimensional anchor device designed to prevent teleportation. Clever, Goku admitted. They're learning. Starlight's expression hardened. This isn't the military acting alone. Vought authorized this. They're cutting their losses. If they can't control you, they'll destroy you, and frame it as protecting America. The mech's shoulder panels opened, revealing hundreds of micro-missiles. Each one was tipped with experimental compounds designed to neutralize enhanced individuals. The math was brutal. Even if Goku could survive them all, the collateral damage to the surrounding blocks would be catastrophic. Final warning, the voice boomed. Surrender or we open fire on your position. You have 10 seconds to comply. Goku looked at the boys, wounded, poisoned by Temp V, barely standing. At Starlight, who'd sacrificed her career to do the right thing. At the civilians still evacuating in the distance. At Queen Maeve and the other Supes who'd backed down, who'd shown they could choose differently. I really didn't want it to come to this, he said, and his voice carried a weight that made everyone pay attention. But if they're going to threaten everyone here just to get to me. His aura began to shift. White became gold. The air itself began to scream. Then I'll show them why you don't threaten a Saiyan's friends. Golden light erupted across the battlefield like a second sunrise. Goku's hair blazed upward, transformed from black to brilliant gold, his eyes shifting to teal. Electricity crackled through his aura, the signature of Super Saiyan. The transformation took less than a heartbeat, but the pressure it generated made the air itself ripple with visible distortion. The mech's sensors immediately redlined. Every instrument designed to measure power output maxed out simultaneously. Warning klaxons blared inside the cockpit. Energy reading exceeding maximum parameters, the onboard AI reported in a calm voice, utterly at odds with the crisis. Recommended action, immediate retreat. The pilot, enhanced with Compound V and trained for impossible scenarios, made the worst decision of his life. Fire everything. 300 micro-missiles launched simultaneously. Plasma cannons discharged with enough heat to melt tank armor. Railguns fired tungsten penetrators at hypersonic velocity. The dimensional anchor activated, creating a localized reality lock to prevent teleportation. Goku raised one hand. The missiles stopped, just stopped, suspended in midair by his ki like insects in amber. The plasma blasts hit an invisible barrier 3 feet from his palm and dispersed harmlessly. The railgun rounds crumpled against his aura like aluminum foil. I gave you a chance to walk away, Goku said, his voice carrying that strange echo that came with Super Saiyan transformation. But you chose to fire weapons at a populated area. That's unforgivable. He clenched his fist. The suspended missiles compressed into a single sphere of metal and explosive material, which he crushed into powder. The powder drifted away on the wind like snow. Then he moved. Even transformed with Temp V, even with enhanced perception, Billy Butcher couldn't track Goku's movement. One instant the Saiyan was on the ground. The next, he was inside the mech, having torn through the armored hull like tissue paper. The pilot found himself held gently but immovably by one hand while Goku used the other to systematically dismantle every weapon system. Metal screamed. Circuits sparked. In 15 seconds, he'd converted a 50-foot war machine into an expensive metal shell with no offensive capability. He set the pilot down carefully on the ground, unconscious but unharmed, and stepped out of the mech's hollowed interior. "Anyone else?" he called out to the military formation. The helicopters began backing away. Orders were being screamed over military channels. Protocols were being invoked. Somewhere in the Pentagon, people were having very serious conversations about what happens when you deploy overwhelming force against something that considers overwhelming force to be a light workout. But the night wasn't over. Reality tore open behind Goku. Not a dimensional rift like the one that brought him here, but a Vought-designed portal generator. Through it stepped a figure that made even Goku pause. A Supe in black armor covered in runes, carrying weapons that hummed with energy that felt wrong. Dimensional, multiversal. "Singularity," Starlight whispered. "Jesus Christ, they actually called Singularity." "Who?" Goku asked, not taking his eyes off the newcomer. "International Supe. Russian, maybe. Nobody knows. He doesn't work for Vought usually. Too expensive, too dangerous. His power is..." She struggled for words. "He doesn't punch harder or fly faster. He manipulates probability. Makes impossible things happen." Singularity spoke in heavily accented English. "I am paid 200 million to stop you. Nothing personal." He raised one hand, and the air around Goku began to shimmer. Goku felt it immediately, his ki being disrupted, probability itself being twisted to make his attacks miss, his defenses fail, his power diminish. It wasn't about strength, it was about rewriting the odds of success to 0. "That's a neat trick," Goku said, feeling his Super Saiyan form flickering unstably. "But I fought reality warpers before. Hit was an assassin who could skip time. I beat him by going beyond time itself." He powered up further. Super Saiyan 2, lightning intensifying, aura becoming sharper, power multiplying. The probability manipulation tried to force him back down, tried to make the transformation impossible. Goku pushed harder. The dimensional anchor device, still active, began to crack under the pressure. The reality lock couldn't contain someone who'd achieved godhood through sheer effort. With a sound like breaking glass, the anchor shattered. "Impossible," Singularity said, his confidence wavering. "The mathematics should..." "I don't really do math," Goku interrupted, his voice distorted by the power flowing through him. "I just fight until I win." He appeared in front of Singularity faster than probability could track, and threw a punch that carried the weight of a Super Saiyan 2's full strength behind it. Singularity tried to manipulate the odds, tried to make the punch miss or fail, or... It connected. The shockwave leveled every standing structure in a 3-block radius. Singularity flew backward through his own portal, which collapsed behind him. The probability warper was gone, neutralized but alive. Goku powered down to base form, breathing heavily. Not from exhaustion, from the effort of holding back enough to avoid killing someone. "Is everyone okay?" he called out. The boys were collapsed on the ground, their temp V burns becoming visible. Spiderweb cracks of blue light spreading under their skin. Starlight was shielding civilians with her body, terrified but determined. Queen Maeve had positioned herself between the military and the injured Supes, choosing her side at last. Then the sky lit up with more arrivals, but these weren't Vought's assets. 20 portals opened simultaneously, and through them came Supes from every corner of the globe, not sent by corporations, but arriving independently. Some came out of curiosity, others seeking to test themselves, a few hoping to be the one to bring down the alien threat. They surrounded Goku in a massive circle, powers activating, energies building. 50 enhanced individuals, each one dangerous in their own right, each one thinking they'd be the hero who stopped the invader. Goku looked around at them all, his expression sad. "You're all here to fight me because someone told you I'm the bad guy, but did any of you ask why? Did any of you wonder what really happened?" "We saw the footage," a Brazilian supe called out, fire dancing on his hands. "You attacked Homelander, destroyed Vought property, threatened American heroes." "I defended myself," Goku corrected, "and I protected civilians from your heroes. But I don't expect you to believe me. So, here's what I'll do." He settled into a fighting stance, feet apart, knees bent, hands ready. The stance of someone who'd fought thousands of battles and won nearly all of them. "I'll fight all of you at once. Full power, no holding back." His smile was pure Saiyan excitement despite everything. "And when I win, because I will win, everyone here will tell the truth about what really happened tonight. About Homelander, about Vought, about what heroism actually means. Deal?" The assembled Supes exchanged glances. 50 against 1 seemed like impossible odds. The stranger was powerful, yes, but 50 Supes cooperating. "Deal," someone said. Then another. Then they all agreed. Goku's grin widened. "Good, but fair warning. I'm not going to use Super Saiyan 2 for this. That would be overkill." His aura flared, but instead of golden, it became something else. A silver-white sheen that made reality itself seem to bend. His movements became fluid, automatic, perfect. His eyes became calm, empty, infinite. Ultra instinct. Not the mastered form, but enough. "Come on then," Goku said, his voice carrying that otherworldly calm. "Show me what your world's fighters can do." They came at him like a tidal wave of power, fire, ice, lightning, super speed, super strength, telekinesis, energy projection, matter manipulation. 50 different powers unleashed simultaneously. Goku moved through them like water flowing between stones. Each attack missed by millimeters. Each counterattack landed with surgical precision, enough force to disable, not to kill. His body moved independently of thought, dodging attacks he couldn't see, striking vulnerabilities his opponents didn't know they had. It wasn't a fight. It was a demonstration. Within 3 minutes, all 50 Supes lay unconscious or incapacitated on the battlefield. Goku stood in the center, not a scratch on him, breathing steady and calm. He powered down, ultra instinct fading, and looked at the assembled cameras. News crews had been filming everything from maximum safe distance. "My name is Son Goku," he said clearly. "I'm from another universe. I came here by accident, and everything I've done tonight was to protect innocent people from those who'd hurt them." He looked directly into the nearest camera. "Your world's got problems, big ones, but they're not impossible to fix. You just need people willing to be actual heroes instead of celebrities in capes." The aftermath of the battle looked like a war zone. 50 unconscious Supes littered the streets. The military mech stood gutted and hollow. Emergency vehicles wailed in the distance. And in the center of it all, Goku helped Starlight lift Billy Butcher, whose Temp V enhanced body was shutting down rapidly. "Get them to a hospital," Goku said urgently. "The Temp V is killing them." "No hospital will touch us," MM gasped, blue veins pulsing under his skin. "We're wanted terrorists. The moment we show up, then I'll make them help you." Goku's tone left no room for argument. A black SUV screeched to a halt nearby. The door opened, and Stan Edgar stepped out, immaculate in his suit despite the chaos around him. He surveyed the scene with the detached interest of a man calculating losses and opportunities. "Impressive," Stan said calmly. "You've just dismantled approximately 40% of the world's known super-powered assets in under an hour. Vought's pool stock is currently in free fall. 7 governments have reached out asking if we can handle you, and social media is, predictably, losing its collective mind." He adjusted his cufflinks. "So let's discuss terms." "Terms?" Goku looked confused. "I don't want anything from you. I just want these people to get medical help, and then I need to find a way home." About that, Stan gestured, and a woman emerged from the SUV, Dr. Sarah Chen, Vought's head of dimensional research, carrying a tablet full of incomprehensible equations. "We've been analyzing the residual energy from your arrival. The dimensional signature is unlike anything in our physics, but with time and resources, we believe we can recreate the portal conditions." "You can send me home?" Goku's face lit up with genuine joy. "Eventually. It might take weeks, months even." Stan's smile was calculated precision. "But in the meantime, you need somewhere to stay. Resources, food, lots of food, I imagine, and protection from every military and corporate interest that now wants to study, recruit, or eliminate you." "And what do you want in return?" Goku asked, understanding the game even if he didn't like it. "Simple. Don't destroy Vought." Stan's honesty was almost refreshing. "I'm not going to pretend we're noble. We're a corporation built on exploitation, cover-ups, and manufactured heroism. You've exposed that tonight. But if Vought collapses tomorrow, the power vacuum will be catastrophic. Every nation will scramble to create their own compound PHI programs. We've at least kept it centralized, somewhat controlled." "That's a pretty cynical way of looking at things," Goku said. "It's a realistic way." Stan glanced at the fallen Supes. "These people are victims as much as they are perpetrators. Most of them were injected as children, raised as products, never given a choice. What happens to them if the company that created them collapses? Who takes responsibility?" Starlight stepped forward, still supporting Huey. "He's not wrong. As much as I hate Vought, a complete collapse would leave thousands of Supes without support, healthcare, or oversight. Some would become vigilantes, others villains. Many would just die from complications we don't understand yet." Goku looked at the carnage around him, at the boys dying from Temp V poisoning, at the Supes who'd fought him not from evil but from manipulation and fear. This wasn't like fighting Frieza or Cell. There was no simple villain to defeat, just systems, corruption, and broken people trying to survive within it. "Okay," he said finally. "I'll make you a deal. You help these people," he gestured to the boys, "and you help me get home. In return, I won't destroy Vought. But," his voice hardened, "things change. Now. Today." "What kind of changes?" Stan asked, carefully. "First, no more making Supes from kids. No more compound V experiments on children. If adults want to take it, knowing the risks, that's their choice. But no more babies in labs." Stan nodded slowly. "Difficult but manageable. What else?" "Second, accountability. Real accountability. Supes who hurt people face real consequences. No more cover-ups, no more buying silence. You police your own. That's going to create PR nightmares. I don't care about your PR. Goku interrupted. "I care about people not getting murdered by celebrities in capes. Make it work." "And third?" Stan asked, knowing there would be a third. "Homelander." Goku's expression became serious. "He doesn't get to keep being your star anymore. He's too dangerous, too unstable. He needs help, not a platform. He's the face of the company. Replacing him. You've got her." Goku pointed at Starlight. "She actually cares about people. She risked everything tonight to protect kids. Make her the leader of your 7. Let her show people what real heroes look like." Stan studied Starlight thoughtfully. "The numbers might actually work. The redemption arc, the reformer. Yes, I can sell that." He extended his hand to Goku. "Do we have a deal?" Goku hesitated, then shook it. "But I'm watching. If you break these promises, if you go back to the old ways..." He didn't need to finish the threat. Everyone had seen what he could do. "Understood." Stan turned to his people. "Get medical teams here immediately. Full treatment for the boys, no questions asked. And prep the Dimensional Research Facility. Priority 1 funding." As medics rushed to help Butcher and the others, Huey grabbed Goku's arm weakly. You could have destroyed everything. Started over from scratch. Why didn't you?" "Because starting over is easy," Goku said gently. "Fixing what's broken is harder. But it's what heroes do. We don't just fight the big bad guys. We help people build something better after." Queen Maeve approached, looking 10 years younger without the weight of Vought's demands on her shoulders. "What happens now to us, the Supes who did terrible things because Vought told us to?" "You get to choose," Goku said. "Maybe for the first time ever. You can keep being what they made you, or you can become something better. I've seen it happen. People changing, growing, becoming heroes for real." He smiled. "It's never too late." In the days that followed, the world transformed. The footage of Goku defending civilians, of him holding back against 50 Supes, went viral with billions of views. The narrative shifted. Vought's stock recovered as they announced sweeping reforms with Starlight as the new face of the company. Homelander was quietly moved to a secure facility for therapy and recovery. The boys recovered from their Temp V poisoning, their criminal records mysteriously expunged as part of Stan's deal. They became consultants for Vought's new accountability division, their inside knowledge invaluable for the reforms. And Goku, he spent his days training with interested Supes who wanted to earn their power rather than rely on chemicals, eating tremendous amounts of food and working with Dr. Chen on the dimensional portal. 3 weeks after his arrival, the portal stabilized. Goku stood before the swirling gateway. Starlight and dozens of Supes gathered to see him off. Even Butcher showed up, though he'd never admit it was to say goodbye. "You changed everything," Starlight said, her voice thick with emotion. "In 3 weeks, you did what we couldn't do in years. You showed us what being a hero actually means." "You already knew," Goku said with a smile. "You just needed someone to remind you. Keep fighting for what's right. Don't let them turn you into a product again." "What about your world?" Huey asked. "What happens when you get back?" "Oh man, Vegeta's going to be so mad I had an adventure without him." Goku laughed. "But that's okay. I'll tell him all about it. About the world where heroes were celebrities, but became heroes for real." He stepped toward the portal, then paused and looked back. "One more thing. That compound Vi stuff. Maybe someday you'll figure out how to remove it safely. Give people back their choice. That'd be pretty heroic." With a final wave, Son Goku walked through the dimensional gateway. The portal collapsed behind him with a sound like distant thunder, and he was gone. The world he left behind was different. Not perfect, never perfect, but better. Supes trained to control their powers. Vought operated under actual oversight. Heroes started acting like heroes instead of celebrities. And on a new statue erected in Times Square where the battle took place. A plaque read simply, "A reminder that true strength protects the weak, and real heroes are made through choice, not chemistry." Somewhere in the multiverse, Goku crash-landed on Beerus's planet, tumbling through training equipment and skidding to a halt at Whis' feet. My, Whis said with his usual calm amusement. "That certainly took longer than expected. Where have you been?" Goku grinned, dusting himself off. "You won't believe what just happened. There was this world where they made superheroes with chemicals, and I accidentally ended up reforming their whole society, and I fought like 50 people at once, and—" "Kakarot!" Vegeta's voice echoed across the planet. "You better have a good explanation for missing 3 weeks of training." Goku laughed, and the sound carried across dimensions, the laugh of a warrior who'd found that sometimes the greatest battles weren't won with power, but with showing others how to be better than they thought possible. Son Goku's arrival in the boys' universe lasted only 21 days, but its impact echoed for generations. Vought International survived, but transformed. Under Starlight's leadership and with the boys serving as watchdogs, the company became what it had always pretended to be, a genuine force for good. Compound V experimentation on minors was banned internationally. Adult volunteers underwent rigorous psychological screening. Supes who committed crimes faced actual justice, tried in courts instead of being protected by corporate lawyers. Homelander never returned to public life. In a secure facility designed for his specific needs, he underwent years of therapy, slowly unpacking decades of abuse, manipulation, and manufactured supremacy. He would never be the hero he pretended to be, but he learned, eventually, to be human. The footage of Goku's battle became the most watched video in history, a 3-hour compilation showing what heroism actually looked like. Not flashy poses or corporate sponsorships, but a warrior who could have destroyed them all, choosing instead to protect, to teach, to give them the chance to be better. Training dojos opened worldwide, teaching discipline over shortcuts, effort over enhancement. Some Supes voluntarily underwent experimental procedures to remove Compound V from their systems, choosing humanity over power. Others kept their abilities but used them differently, not for fame or profit, but for genuine protection. The world didn't become perfect. Corruption still existed. New threats emerged, but the fundamental question had changed. It was no longer how powerful are you, but what do you choose to do with that power? And somewhere, in another universe, on a planet where gods trained warriors, Goku smiled whenever he sensed a fighter choosing discipline over shortcuts, protection over glory, growth over stagnation. He couldn't sense across dimensions, but he liked to think that somewhere, in that broken world he'd briefly visited, people were choosing to be heroes. Not because they were born special or chemically enhanced, but because they woke up every day and decided that protecting others mattered more than protecting their image. That was the lesson of the Saiyan who fell from the sky. True strength isn't about being the strongest, and it's about making everyone around you stronger too. New worlds await. More stories soon.